calling all educators with a passion for teaching and a health for faith. Get ready for a transformative journey with the Educators with Oil podcast, where host Ronnette Branham is dedicated to helping teachers become better through biblical strategies.
Welcome welcome Educators with Oil, the podcast where we empower, inspire, and equip educators to walk boldly in their calling, using their God-given gifts to transform lives in and out of the classroom. I'm your host, Ronnette Branham, and today I'm excited to have with me two truly dynamic people, dynamic educator, entrepreneurs, student, just all around great people. We have Mrs. Ronnette Smith-Powell and her daughter Destiny, who I'm just loving following them online. One day I'm going to be able to get to a live show, but just to let you know a little bit, Ronnette wears many hats. Like I said, she's a passionate teacher, a very successful businesswoman, and co-author of a powerful series of books and workbooks designed to support both students and educators. Today, we're going to dive into what it is like to balance teaching and entrepreneurship, being a student and entrepreneurship. You know, what they do, they traveled from school to school, from program to program, doing assemblies, puppeteering, writing, walking in their faith. And that just reminds me of Colossians 3:23, which says, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. That's the heart of Educators with Oil, doing our work with diligence and faith, shining his light in every task. So that verse just brings light into what we're doing. So again, welcome Ronnette and Destiny. I'm gonna bring you to the stage. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to be here. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. That was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so I appreciate you just coming. I know you were on here like the beginning when I first started out, like yes. There, and I was so excited because of what you do have in the books that you have out and the puppetry. I think that was that the beginning of your walk also?
Yes, it was. And thank you again for having us here, for sharing your platform with us, because it means everything that you honor the work that we're doing for the Lord and for the community. So thank you for that. And yes, we did start here with you with our first book, which was
Cory
Hates COVID.
Yeah, and I remember that. It seems like you had a couple books already. I remember that one. Mm-hmm. But now the next time I've spoken with you, you have a whole real series.
Nine books now. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it seems as if every time I think we're done, the Lord will give me something new and something relevant and current that the children need exposure to, that educators need support with, that schools can benefit from. So every time I think I'm done and I put the pen down, the Lord said, not yet.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And so the first book, Destiny co-wrote with you. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
So how was that? Before we get into anything, how was that for you? Because were you like 8 or something? I know I'm just throwing that like that was really.
I was 11 years old during the pandemic, I think 2021. Mm-hmm. And I was 11 years old, and my mom pitched to me this idea about writing a book for COVID. So I told her about my experience during COVID and how I felt working in a virtual environment. So she took those words and wrote it into a book, which is super cool.
That is cool. I mean, you know what? I read a series of books to my students, and they love listening to every book, and what's coming next, and they like the series. So this is awesome when you have people who will follow the series, your puppets follow you, what you do. That just, I'm so proud, and I'm proud because not just because we share the same name. I think, I don't know,
That part.
there's something about Ronette's.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. I
Yes.
love the name, and Ronald means a mighty power.
Wow.
So that's just a female version of Ronald. Even it's a female version. So when I see it, I'm like, that's true. We were named correctly.
It is.
That's really true.
Yes, it is.
I'm just proud to be connected. Just connected.
Likewise. And seeing what you do, how you bring exposure and knowledge to the community on different topics. I love the title of your podcast, Educators with Oil, because it's the oil that makes the difference, right? Because we all have abilities and gifts and talents. I believe the Lord gave everyone those things when they were born, whether it's, being a speaker or someone who's good with art or music or perhaps just service. Everyone is born with gifts and talents. But to tap into the why, right? To tap into the purpose of that is the oil to me, because you can do things, but there's always a deeper level. There's always a higher height. There's always an expansion of an idea. And those immediate interventions where the Holy Spirit speaks to us in a moment where we're engaging with a student or a parent. And you have the traditional teacher-parent conference, but as an educator with oil, you know what it takes, a left turn, and now it's time to minister. That's the oil. Absolutely. So it's the same thing with the business, writing the first book, Cory Hates COVID. The second one, Cory Beats Bullying. The third one was Cory Conquers COVID. You're going to have to help me as I get lost. Cory Shares a Secret, the mental health guide for children.
Cory Cares for Nana.
Yeah, the Black History book. Cory the Super Scientist, Science and STEM.
Do we say Cory Eats Everything?
Cory Eats Everything, healthy eating, diet, exercise, self-care. Cory.
There's so many others.
Yeah, we're trying to keep up. And the newest one is Cory Wonders About the World. Multiculturalism, diversity, and inclusion. And like I said to you when we first began, with every book, it's a prompting, it's an idea, it's a thought. And with that thought, it comes, okay, Lord, how do I implement that? Right? And it starts with action. So it's the yes. Then after the yes, it's the how.
Yeah.
And then after it's the how, it's the let's go, Jesus.
Yeah. You are like tapping in. Every guest that I have is for me. I don't care what anybody says. I'm like, watch if you want to watch. I want you to watch. But every guest is for me. Because I'm working on some things. I have a conference next year, and it's for educators, and it's going to be dynamic. And that's like, okay, Lord, but how are you going to do that without money? Without just and everything is falling into place. So I don't want to talk about me. I'm just going to say you tapped into that purpose, and then that reasoning. And so we know you have the books. We know you're a teacher. We know you even just went back to grad school. So we know this, and we know Destiny is a student. And I know my granddaughter, she's 13, and what homework is like, what basketball, all these other things are like. So we feel overwhelmed. The average teacher tells me they're overwhelmed.
Yes.
But you're doing it. You're making it work. So tell us about how are you balancing those duties. You're a wife as well. So it's like you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of hats, like we say.
Yes.
What is it like balancing all that?
I would say let's first think about what the word balance means, right? Because balance, we continually think usually that it's equal, right? Equal parts. But sometimes balance looks like this. Sometimes it looks like this. Or like this, because it's a shifting of what needs my attention and when and how much. And I don't always have the answers to those questions. But what I do know is that I'm doing my best to give my attention to those things that need it when it's necessary For instance, if we're writing a book and I'm working on a book, I might start the project and God will wake me up 3 a.m. And it's crazy because one of the books we did, Cory Conquers COVID, which is vaccination education for children, teaching them how the vaccination works in their body, teaching them how to deal with the fear of needles and why this is important during that time. I didn't want to write it. That's crazy, right? I did not want to write it because I felt like we just released Cory Hates COVID. Take that gum out your mouth. We just released Cory Hates COVID and Cory Beats Bullying. To me, I just launched Cory Beats Bullying. Let's promote it. Let's push it. Let's, And then here comes the third idea, Cory Conquers COVID. And I kind of was arguing with the Lord on that because I felt like I need my attention and my focus and my balance to be on these 2 projects. Lord, not let me sleep. He kept prompting me. He kept giving me more confirmations. So finally, he woke me up about, I want to say it was 3 a.m. And I'm laying there and the Holy Spirit said, write the book. Like I'm talking to you, write the book. It just fell in my soul. And I turned over. I was like, write the book. Right? And I felt that prompting again, write the book. So I sat up in the bed and I was like 3, like I said, I think it was like 3 a.m. and I grabbed my computer from under my bed and I just started typing page 1, page 2. And as I typed, the Holy Spirit was filling my ideas in hands and I just kept going. By 9 o'clock that morning, I pushed it out to the illustrator. I pushed it out to the editor. I said, do your thing. Can you get this back to me ASAP? And of course, it took a little bit of time, but they got it back to me. That was one of the fastest books ever written by Ronnette and Destiny, because what am I saying? It's the balance of this needs my attention.
Yeah.
And at 3 a.m, that's not my ideal time to be up. I usually get up after I die because I go to sleep, I die. I get up. Right? It's a resurrection Sunday when I wake up. But when I finally, had that interruption moment, I must tell you that in that one book, now there are more, but in that particular book, the Lord, it was almost an explosion with the Department of Health. They all wanted it. I had to get it translated into Spanish. The shows that we do with the puppets, we were traveling all over New Jersey. That book, the other books were great, but it was that one that gave me an awareness that there's always a blessing in your yes, even when you don't want to, even when you don't feel like it, even when you tired. Let's say that. There's always a blessing in the yes. So in that balancing question, once the book was launched and we were doing everything, my husband supports what we do. He fussed sometimes, and then I have to give my attention to him and shift back. Once he's settled again, or school, if it's report card time or something like that, that needs my attention. That's that balance. That's that, right? Report cards are out, conferences are done. Okay, let's go back over here a little bit. Now, so it's constantly reassessing, realigning, evaluating what is necessary at this moment and in this season. And that's the gist of it, how we balance it right now.
Yeah. Oh, so I know that's a word. When you said that, that's something that that's a word that I rarely use. I don't know how I wrote that and then said it out loud. I would have said juggling. I would have said maneuvering through what's important and what's important at this moment, because there's not always a balance. Right. And there's things that we do learn that are not as important as we think they are. So we learn that. So I can appreciate that you understand that, because there are people running around overwhelmed, as I said. Whatever it is that's happening in their life, they're overwhelmed, and it's not working out for them, because then they're stressing themselves out. They're calling themselves burned out when it's because of prioritizing. Right.
And there are sometimes too, when I'm listening to you speak, I also think of the Sabbath day, right? So our Pastor Darius Daniels from Change Church teaches us through the Word of God that Sabbath is not only Sunday, it's a day of rest. whichever day that is, so implementing, first of all, getting freedom from the tradition of Sabbath, the tradition of religion, it being Sunday. Sabbath means go to church. Sabbath means no ironing, no whatever that, back in the day, right? Yeah. But redefining that also gave me liberty and freedom to, okay, today is Tuesday, my Sabbath day. I'm not doing nothing.
Yes.
Call my name. I'm not coming out my room. I might brush my teeth and I might not. But I'm just saying, right? Because it's a day when you I shut down and I don't answer emails. I don't answer calls that day unless it's necessary because I need a refreshing. I need a regrouping. I need a refurbishing. So that Sabbath for me might look different because on Sunday I'm going to church. That's really not rest. That's a spiritual refill. So for me, having an implementation of Sabbath being on whatever day I need it is life for me. So that's the balance too.
So you clearly have a strong foundation of faith that is the driving force. Is your driving force. So for Destiny, how does that work with you in school? Because you're a student, you have work to do.
Yes, I am. So my school is very supportive of what I do. I always give my principal and my teachers like this little community service paper. Like after I'm done with the show, they always know what I'm doing. I tell them the day before that I'm going to do a show here or a show there. And I give them, the principal writes the paper and gives it to me. And then I give it to the principal and my teachers. And they excuse my absence and they just give me the work online. So it works out perfectly.
Oh, that does. Huh. I like that. You're actually working. You're doing service for the community, going into these various schools and offering this service to students, to teachers, to the school districts. So I love that. And then you're in a supportive school because that's God-given too, because you don't have to have that kind of district, that kind of principal school.
Right.
We do understand that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because this is a world we live in, and God, He is maneuvering. That I just was listening to a minister, and he was talking about that magnetism, how people are drawn to us. Sometimes they don't know why, but it's that God in us that they're drawn to. And so you are in the right place, that your principals and everybody are drawn to you.
Yes.
Be repelling at the same time.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. So when you go to, we have the puppet show, and it's not just you two.
No, we have a whole team.
So, excuse me, how does that?
Well, we have, when we go out to the school or community event or church or a daycare center, we have a DJ who goes with us. We have cast members, puppeteers, which we're the puppeteers, right? Co-hosts, and it's about maybe 5 to 6 of us when we go to the school. And I'm really honored. First of all, let's talk about the miracle in a team, right? Because you can have an idea and you can know that this is something that will bless people. But in order for it to be implemented properly, you need some more yeses. It's not just your yes, right? You need God to touch the hearts of others, to say yes and partner with you. When I tell you, I'm just floored because we have a list of DJs. If this one can't come, then that one, then that one. I'm going to keep going till somebody say yes and somebody does. We have a list of team members, about 22 team members. I only need 5 per show, but when we get a date, I push text out or email it. Whoever's available, whoever first come, first serve. So if you come and if the list is full, then you go on standby, right? Because we still need a team. But the all for me is that they say yes.
Yeah.
Right, like these people are dedicated to the same vision. When we pray in before a show and we all gather hands, they're just as sincere about making sure the delivery of that message, whether it's anti-bullying or the mental health show, whether it's the science show or the healthy eating, whatever the objective is, we ask God to bless that. So having a team of people like DJ Griff or DJ Anthony or Nigel and Royalty and Kevin, we have people who are bought in. And I must say this, and I think for some people, they may not understand what I mean, but every single time, I don't care if it's 3 shows, I don't care if it's 10 shows, I don't care if it's 100 shows, for every single inquiry, for every single invoice, for every single check paid, it's almost like I'm humbled by that. That's okay. I ain't gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Wow.
But I'm humbled by it because it's not just my vision. I'm just the vessel. I'm just the vessel that God chose to do this work. And when someone says, "Can you come to my school?" or "Can you come to my district and service my schools?" or "Can you rotate around the county of Salem for NJS 4?" And it's humbling, and it's awesome, and it's a wow every single time. I never get used to someone saying thank you and putting that check in my hand because they don't have to choose us, right? So I'm grateful for that. I am.
That is because I'm like I said, I was working on some things, and when people said I'll be honored to do that, and I love what you do, and I'm like, what? Because this is like for real.
Yes.
I got a keynote speaker who I know how much she charges. She said, "I'm honored to do this for you." Like I know you understand, and it's like for real. Counting on you, but I didn't know you really gonna say yes. You know what I mean?
Yes. But in your obedience too, right? Because whenever God blesses something, there takes a partnership, not just from the sower, but the person who sows, and you need someone to water, you need someone to come and take care of the field and take care of the grounds and to pluck it and to sell it and to package it. So it's a whole process. But I think when we move with God's obedience, and not that we're perfect, please don't say that. Don't get there, because I'm not. We're work in progress. But having you even say yes, I think that's the beginning of God preparing everybody you need in the way of that. Every single, from the field sower to the person that plucks it and packages it, everything is already preordained. He's just waiting for your agreement, right? So in your agreement, Ronnette, it's the blessing, not just for you, but it's for everyone that's aligned and attached to that to be blessed. The kids who receive that to be blessed. To teachers that are in the audience to be blessed. To the listeners on this pod. See, it's such a chain reaction, and this is why God needs us to say
yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah, that's awesome, man. I have so much I want to talk to you about. You talked about it for a little bit, but that preparation for a show, you have to. I don't know. I want to watch your show, but that's a lesson, right? It's like a lesson plan, right? It's like we're preparing for those projects. How does that work? Because this is, again, I have people that I work with who are entrepreneurs and they're teachers or educators of some sort, and they have a whole business like this, the whole business, and like, is your business getting in the way of your teacher? Because that means, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
prep for a show, because your shows are not just a little show. I saw you do one little thing for us at a conference, and I was in awe. Sing! Oh my God! You were singing. You had the puppet, the Nana.
Yes.
So how do you prepare? You can.
Well, I had to. I think the hardest part to preparing was in the beginning, because once you have a formula and a format of, I almost had to write it out because I'm visual. So when you get an inquiry, next thing I need to do is solidify the date. After I solidify the date, send the invoice. After you send the invoice, send the proposal. And so I had a list of things that needed to be done paperwork wise. And once it's in cement, now get the team together. Once you get the team together, I schedule, the virtual rehearsals. Like we would meet online like we are here and go through who's doing what and how does that look. And and just having like a rhythm. But the beginning was the hardest because you have to almost carve out what does that look like. And, you know, I would get to a space, oh, I forgot this in the purchase order. I didn't sign it. So then I started realizing I needed a rhythm. I needed a structure to my day where this space of time will be just for business. So I would teach. And when I'm in school, I give the school system, because they are paying me to do a job for Willingboro Public Schools. So they have all of my attention from 8:40 to 3:40, period. Right? Unless that's my lunch break, I might schedule a Zoom call with a school district on my lunch break. Or at the end of the day, I would schedule something. But 8:40, 3:40, school. Period, point blank. And if I needed to, let's say, do report cards or something where I stayed a little late, I would give myself that window of time. And then let's say from 3:40, if once that bell ring, if I needed, sometimes I would stay at school and do Zoom calls or do invoices or do response to emails, because I didn't want that client to think I forgot about them. So, you know, I would either do it on my lunch break or do it on my, you know, after school. Okay, I'm gonna respond to these. And then the next day when I get home, it's home time. So just trying to have as much structure as possible so that, like we said before, that balance doesn't get like this.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part, just figuring out how to carve out a rhythm. And then a day of nothingness. A day of absolute nothing. Nobody, school, nobody, nothing. This is my day. When 3:40 comes or whatever, I'm gonna go to the mall and just walk around, smell the smells, see the sights, and, you know, just be engaged with that space and that place, because I needed a mental break too. It can't just be, you know, because it can get overwhelming. It can. Yeah, because it seems like everybody's going like this. You know, they all pulling at you, and everybody wants it now. Everybody's urgency is now. So I had to kind of prioritize what needed my attention, like we said earlier, when, where, how, those kinds of things. So that helped.
Yeah, so I like so are you open to suggestions from your team and saying, I don't think that worked, let's try this next time, things like that? Does that happen in your system that you have put together?
What do you think? Did we talk about what worked and what didn't?
Yes.
That's huge, because how do you grow if you're not willing to open yourself for constructive criticism, right? So having, even like we had the most challenging show was what was that, last Thursday? Okay.
Wait, where was it?
It was in Newark. We did a show in Newark. All right, you're not ready. We did a show in Newark, and it was an outdoor event. So they had generators. We had a generator assigned, assigned to us. And then they had a bouncy house. The two bouncy houses had generators. Long story short, DJ came. He hooked everything up. We ready to roll. Do a mic check, and there's no power. No power. Okay, wait. We need some music. We need the mics. We need to. So now we're standing there, and I'm like, it's almost 2:00, and I think our session started at 1:30 or something. I'm like, listen, and the coordinator could not get the vendor to come back out fast enough because the event ended at 3. I'm like, listen, met with the team, real talk. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? Okay. One of the team's members said, well, let's do head, shoulders, knees, and toes and for the brain break instead of doing music. I was like, okay, that'll work. So we just revamped it together. We put our brains together, and I was like, yo, God is good. This is awesome. It worked out. It worked out. And thankfully, it taught us how to have a plan B just like that. You know, but it wasn't even all of my idea. I think who was the one who said head and shoulders, knees, and toes?
I think it was Kate or Sierra.
I think Sierra came up with that idea, and just to keep the kids up and moving in certain spaces in the show, calling out Cory. I had to project like super loud because we're outside and I don't have my microphone. So everything was different. But we did what we had to do. The coordinator was happy. She emailed me. She was extremely pleased with how things went, regardless of the difficulties. Wow. So Yeah, it takes a team. You can't do it by yourself.
Oh yeah, and that preparedness, because you have to be prepared. One of my coaches, he says you have to be prepared that the sound doesn't work when you're speaking. You have to be prepared that something may happen. I was at a conference and the guy, he didn't have his audio, no, his visual, it wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
He had to just, he taught us about, it was finance. He knew his stuff inside and out. So he didn't need his visual. He was just able to teach us what he had to teach us, went
Wow.
through every step, and he was just on point. He
Wow.
didn't prepare for that. He was prepared because he knew his stuff, like that kind of thing. So, so you're a teacher, you're a student. Is everybody in education, or is this everybody's in entertainment?
Somewhat. We have some team members who are educators, some who are in entertainment. Like Kevin, he does off-Broadway shows. We have other team members who are college students. We even adopted one of the parents reached out to me. Her son, I think, goes to my school, but she has an older daughter. So she reached out and she said, "Can my daughter work with you over the summer? Because we don't want her just idle." I'm like, "Bet, let's go." Look, bet. And we brought her on. We trained her. We told her what we do. I had the team members join in with her, support her the first show. And the second show, third show, she ready to roll. So we're wait, I had my friend Crystal, if she's listening. I know you out there, Crystal. She said you are an equal opportunity employer. And she's right. She's right, because I do believe that God can use anyone. If with an agreement, with a yes, you teach them, you train them, you show them what works. And if that person is pliable and willing to work with us, let's go. What's the problem? Right? If you can speak, which is what you need to do, if you can smile and talk to these babies, you can do this job. So I love what we do. I love that it gives opportunities to people. I love that it's a way to expand and help people grow. Because when they're in front of people, I know sometimes my team members, when they first start, they're really nervous. Like, one lady drove me crazy. She had the script and she's like, "Dad, I said, put that script down." Because it's not about the script, it's about the flow. If after the brain break, we're going to call out Cory, and there's engagement with that. If you don't say what I wrote, I'm not mad. I'm only mad if you're so nervous that you are restrained and you're holding back.
Yeah.
Give these children everything you got. And if you mess up, don't nobody know you.
Right.
I might know, but ultimately it's about the blessing for the babies. That's what it's about. So it's cool.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, because I would think that some people might be nervous. I know you have one. I can imagine Nigel being nervous anywhere, anytime. That man,
No.
he is awesome.
He
He was at my cousin's, who was his godmother, her 50th birthday party, and he entertained us. He sang songs. He just was like, he was a professional, 100%. He carried that party just, and I know he works with you, and I love that he. I don't know if he learned it from you or you just connected in that way, where he gives everything he has and he does.
Well, Nigel was my student. I had him. I was his second grade teacher.
Oh, yes.
And I was short one day. We were just starting out, and I was short, and I needed another person. And I'm going through my mental Rolodex. I'm like, who do I know who could do this? And Nigel, I called him. He called me Miss R. Smith because of my maiden name, and when I was his teacher. He's like, "Miss R. Smith, oh my God, I'll be glad to." And he just brings such an energy. He just flows in the anointing. And there are times when I have to say, "Nigel," I call him Nye. I'm like, "Nye, all right, we got 2 shows today. That means you got to stay on schedule. You can't be going into the preaching mode. We got to start the next assembly at a certain time." But he's awesome. He is awesome.
He is. So with that, you have other people, other pup people, what are characters? So can you introduce those characters to us? How did they work with the show all together?
Okay, so let's say I'll start with the question. Have you ever read a book and then had the opportunity to meet the characters in that book? Yes, no?
No, I haven't. No,
No.
I
See,
haven't.
but that's where we make the difference because the characters in our books, they are the puppets in our shows. So this is Juan. This is Cory. He's our main character of all the shows. That's Nana. Nana is the voice of wisdom. She's grandma, but she's also Nana to all the children in the shows. Like they refer to her as Nana after the show. That's Samantha. She's Cory's best friend. We have a total of 10 puppets. Can you help me list them? Who's missing right now?
We're missing Papa.
Papa. Miss Cooper, the teacher.
Yes.
We got like 10. I can't remember everybody. But Cory's mom, Cory's dad, Mr. Juan's dad. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is one of the books. Cory Shares a Secret, a mental health guide for children. And for every book, there's an activity book that goes with it. Cory Conquers COVID. The books are in the car. That's the thing I couldn't carry in here. That's the mental health guide. There's Juan right there. You can see him. That's Cory. That's Juan. Well, that's Cory. And that's Juan. So during the show, they see the characters. They meet them. They engage with them. They're playing games. So they're having an experience with the literature in a different 3D way. So for every storybook, there's Juan again. That's Cory's bullying. And that's Juan again, right? So we try to make sure that's the first one. Cory hates COVID. I'm trying to go, that's the new one. Cory wonders about the world. That's a multicultural celebration of diversity and multiculturalism. And Samantha, Juan, and Cory are the stars of that particular show. So depending on what book we're doing, that tells me what puppets to bring in the bags that day.
Okay, I like that. So it sounds like you and Cory and his friends will have to actually travel to those places. Sounds like something that I'm hearing. I don't know if you heard that.
Hey, let's go.
Yes. Where do they go in that story? Travel the world.
So Cory wonders about the world, explores how how everything. I can say this to you, but in a school setting, I have to use different language because of the separation of church and state. But it expresses how everything is created differently and wonderful, like the flowers on the grass, the different birds in the air, right? The different types of trees that we have. And Cory is observing all these things in the story, which brings him to the question, why is our skin different? Why is your hair different than mine? So he begins to ask those questions of investigation of why are we different? But he comes to realize that through all of our differences, that makes us unique and that makes us special. But what we have the same that makes us family, right? That unifies us. So we celebrate those things. We embrace those things. We encourage our children to, and that came in response to all the things that are trying to tear us apart.
Yeah.
Right. God laid that on my heart that you may not be able to reach every child in the world, but you can reach the ones right here in this audience. And if it's 100 of them in the audience and you reach 10 of them, that don't forget that 10 can multiply to 100, to 1,000. Because once they got it, you can't take it from them. Once they know that we're all differently and wonderfully created and made, who can tell me that I'm not? Nobody.
Yeah.
To me, that was the purpose of this book, to dispel the myths and what the enemy is trying to put in their hearts of division. No. You've been exposed that we are together. We are one. We're different and wonderful.
Nice. Well, one more question. It's kind of a little different, but so you have books in Spanish. Do you do assemblies in Spanish?
We have done that before.
Yes.
We have done From what I know, we've done Cory Conquers COVID in Spanish, and we also have written a book, Cory Conquers COVID in Spanish.
Yes.
Okay, so I asked you that because my principal asked me, because 90%, 80%, I forgot what she said, of our population, student population, are Spanish speakers. We have that school where we have the dual language program where we have students who do not speak English at all. So a lot of our students do not speak English at all. Yes. So that is a question for me. When I go back to school, I can tell her, you can do one or two, right?
Yes. We usually do, if it's a larger school, it's 2 assemblies. We'll do one for the younger population and they leave, and then the second group comes in. So sometimes it's 1, but most of the time it's 2 if it's a school setting.
So you could do Spanish and English.
Yes, and we have a team member who will translate for us. So, and then for the Cory Wonders About the World show, there are wonderful words that are in Spanish. For the Black History show, we speak a little bit of Swahili. So just exposing them to language, even the kids who speak English, having them hear different languages is important. Different ways to say hello, different ways to say goodbye. So it's a lot of fun. But in that show, definitely, yes.
Oh, that does sound okay. I'm going to go back this time with answers. And so what advice do you give educators or students who want to pursue entrepreneurship or creative projects? They don't have to be like a total business, but projects, but they feel overwhelmed or unsure where to start.
That's a wonderful question, because I believe that everything that God lays in your heart, if it's an idea, if it's a thought, if it's an impression, it's meant to germinate. There's nothing that God doesn't give us that's not meant to expand. He's a God of growth and expansion. So whether that's a book, whether it's a business, whether it's making barrettes, because believe it or not, there's somebody who needs that. Even these chairs we're sitting in, somebody had to think of it. Somebody had to sit down and say, let's put this leg on this leg and this leg, and they get the hammer. It was an idea. Everything that you see, whether it was a donut or whether it was a barrette or a mailbox, it was an idea first. Mm-hmm. So whatever ideas God put in your spirit, explore it. See if you can, even something that exists, how can we make it better? How can we expand it? How can we grow it? Because those are the things that make life meaningful, not just for you, because it's never about just us, but for others and those connected to you. So go ahead and expand and figure it out and explore. If you don't know, get a mentor. For everything you need in life, you need a mentor. You have to. I did not know business, so I connected with people that do. They mentored me. I was a pest. How do you do this? What did you start with? How did you begin? What do I do now? Because for everything you need to know, there's somebody who already, that's their expertise. Yeah. So you can do it. It's just a matter of partnering with someone. First, say yes, research, figure out what you can start. It won't start unless you start it. Start it. Go. We're waiting for it. Let's go, Jesus. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. To all my educator friends, you can do it. You got this. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that, because we have people, and now we're finding we need multiple streams of income. Mm-hmm. And because of the way things are happening right now, we need to be ready to jump into something or already be into something.
Absolutely.
So I'm loving this. Like I don't know if you could really see or feel how I'm feeling when I watch you and what you're doing. I'm seeing you on TV, getting awards. We didn't even talk about that stuff, because that is something amazing. You're being honored for what you do, recognized for what you do. That's just amazing on top of amazing to me.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm always humbled by that. I'm always like, I don't think that my head could get big because I don't own it. Right. I don't own it. I'm an investor with Christ. So when somebody recognizes what God is doing, I'm just like, whoa, wow. Look, let's go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So absolutely. I not going to hold you any longer. I just
Thank
want to
you.
thank you for
you.
agreeing to be here with me.
Absolutely.
I'm
Thank
loving it.
you.
I love the puppets.
I did. Thank you. I did. I don't know if you can see this, but this is the QR code to our website. And if anybody's interested in looking for us, I will also leave it in the chat or wherever you want to put it, you can. But I would love to come to their schools, daycare center, community event, wherever you need us. Reach out to us. Set the date. Let's get that invoice. Let's get the team together and let's go.
Okay. Add this on YouTube in the comments. Right up in the comments, or you can send it to me and I'll put it in the comments and I'll put it in the description as well.
Thank you.
After that. So this is this the app, the website?
That is it, nettieandnana.com. And before I forget to tell you again, thank you for your hospitality, for inviting us, for having us, for blessing us with this platform. To the listeners, thank you for being a part of this evening, for joining us. I honor you. I thank God for you. And I love that you're here. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I appreciate that so much. So with that said, thank you, Ronnette and Destiny, for sharing your inspiring story, because it is actually inspiring to any entrepreneur, anybody who's thinking about a business or some sort. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today. So your example shows us that with faith, diligence, and purpose, we can balance many roles and still walk in excellence.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Comment in the section. Thank you, Destiny.
You're welcome.
Because there's educators who are interested, who need this. Thank you again. Have a blessed rest of your day.
God bless, family. Love you.
Subscribe to Educators with Oil podcast on your preferred platform and join Ronnette on this mission to empower teachers through the wisdom of the Bible. Because when biblical strategies meet the classroom, extraordinary teaching happens.
Educators, let's shine a light on our classrooms. See you on Educators with Oil podcast, where teaching and faith unite.